and posted in general instead of live.
Oh, no.
Yeah, there's his post.
Don't you hate it when that happens? Hello,
yeah,
Steve.
I do. We've all done that on accident.
What's going on, beautiful people? It is Wednesday. We're thinking about doing a show. We're here anyway, so we might as well. That is generally the idea. How's everybody doing? It's the middle of the week. It's not over yet. It's not, but you made it halfway through. You can see the end in sight. Yeah.
Or the beginning, as in my case. Me and you, Ven, work on weekends. So...
Such is life. Weekends, days, months. It's slowly progressed, especially over the last 2 years. I've been an independent contractor for almost a decade now. But I can say, generally I'm like, what day of the week it is? I pay attention. Like, I know it's Saturday. But I've definitely rolled into, what month is it?
Yeah, that's where I'm at, yeah.
Legitimately. How's everybody doing? Anybody up to anything fun? Hello, Invaver. You barely made it all the way through. Strider, it's not over yet, baby.
Aww. Hi, Invaver.
We're going to be
talking
about
back in life.
AI-powered laptops. Debian firmware. Got a new version of Resolve. Flatpaks from the browser. And we're going to talk to birds. We're going to communicate with our avian brothers and sisters.
Aww.
All right. So we're going to run that clock. We're going to be punctual and be on time today.
Okay.
Because I got a lot of playing around to do this afternoon.
Oh, okay.
Because tomorrow's going to be busy work stuff.
Oh, okay. Well, I will be right back then.
But the good news is I think I almost have Reaper working the way I want it to work. Did a good job with it on Saturday. This is like the real test to find out if we have everything put together for this week, which I hope we do on this show. I still got to get Reaper wired into my Stream Deck, not my Steam Deck, my Stream Deck. But outside of that, I've been very pleased with it. Okay. Put that together. And, yeah. Should be a nice tight show today. Should be. I'm not going to make any promises. I saw the trailer for, what was it? Love, Death, and Robots. I haven't watched that yet. I've watched like a little bit of that first episode. I didn't, I'm with you, Strider. I didn't know there was a part 2. Apparently there's a part 3. VGA charger? That'd be awesome. Think about it, though. Think about it. Like, how many external connectors that could have ended up being a standard didn't? I think a lot of us, we immediately go to eSATA. Remember that nightmare? Brilliant idea. Horrible connector. Like, I think it would work once, maybe twice. Third time you plugged it in, you had to, align it with something. Kind of like USB-C is these days. Ugh. Artificial stupidity. I don't know, man. I've played around with PyTorch. I've kind of dug it. And I think there is some good news because video cards are kind of back in stock. That's strange. I don't know if that's going to continue being a thing, but I hope it will be. I really wanted to live in a world right now where we could be ordering Intel GPUs, but Intel not having that just yet. Makes me a little sad. I feel that Intel might have missed their mark. Or their chance. Not really, but only in the sense that, if Intel has a plan to really get back into the discrete GPU market, they just keep throwing money at it and get market share. But to really be able to jump in at that time, to win the hearts and minds of gamers, that time has passed. Now they got to compete against AMD and NVIDIA. I want Intel GPUs. I want player number 3. You know, I have no love for NVIDIA. I buy NVIDIA because it works. It does what I need it to do. And up until recently, it was always available. It seems strange you're going to be able to tell your kids, like, yeah, back in my day, you could just order a GPU at MSRP. And it'd be in stock and it'd just show them. Like, I got this 2060 on launch day. On launch day. Didn't even get up early. Just got up and I'm like, oh, look. Went to NVIDIA's website, ordered a Founders Edition. That was it. Showed up like 3 days later. For some reason, they decided to refund my shipping. Thank you. But yeah. That's such a foreign idea now. Like, oh yeah, my GPU. And I think about it like this. Like, if your GPU dies, you got to get a replacement. You know? What do you do? What do you do? You're going to end up paying like 80 to 100% markup. A little bit worrisome. But is as it is. We should have a reasonably fun show today. I gotta get a couple of things lined up. Get that closed and all right. I think we should be good to go. Now, if you get a 2060 for $300, you got a fantastic deal. I think, what was the Founders Edition? I think all out, like after shipping and tax and everything, ended up being like $400 for my 2060, which wasn't bad, but it's a bit long in the tooth. And I completely forgot I saw yesterday, I guess I forgot that they released it. There's a 3050. I vaguely remember them announcing that. That's a curious card. What would you get a 3050 for? I don't know. Maybe because you couldn't get anything else and you didn't want a 1660? Maybe? I don't know. Got an AIB EVGA. Right on. Okay. Alright, I think I got everything lined up. I don't want to mess around with that. If you are racing with us on this Friday, we do our track selection on Tuesdays. You've already missed out on that, but if you did participate in that, I want to let everyone know there's one additional track that got snuck in because it didn't load. So if you were practicing, setting your times this week, there's one track you've got to play. I don't want you to be terrified when you log in and you see it. All right. There's that Jill.
Do do do. Intel GPUs. Yeah, Justin. I'm waiting for that too.
Let's slide that mic a little over to your right.
Oh, yes. I think I came in a little bit more to the...
All right. For the Friday, it's on our Twitch schedule. So if you're watching this on Twitch, let's go to the schedule thing. It'll tell you when. 7:30 or 4:30 Jill's time.
Yeah.
Or midnight if you're in Britannia. I think are we +4, +5? I don't remember. let me get something to drink, and we will jump into it.
Okay. Yeah, in Maver, it's nice. Yeah, Ven had made a schedule for all the shows here on Twitch, which is nice, and it will automatically adjust to your time wherever you're at. Very convenient. Art there in VGA charger. Ah, yes. I have been pricing them, the 6900 and 6800. I've been kind of going back and forth. Now they're almost down to MSRP. Last I checked, the 6800 was only 100 above. So I think I'm going to be pulling the trigger soon. In fact, I'm going to build a new rig for that card. And I still haven't decided 6900 or 6800. Should I save a little money and do the 68 and then do some other upgrades? Still haven't decided, but either one of those will be really good cards. Yeah, 6500s. Yeah, have been under, which has been really nice. I saw one for $200. Oh yeah. What mug? I got my skill mug again. I love this mug. Skill 15X. This is the only skill mug that's black. They're usually white. So it's nice to have a black one. But yeah, I had this one last week, and I had realized I had never used this mug before for the show. So I have so many mugs, and my scale mug collection, I have like over 30 scale mugs from Scale. The 6500 is not crap. It's just overpriced for, the performance is what it is. There are some stuttering issues with it though. But it's only 4 gig, so yeah. Yeah, Steve has been. Well, I know plenty of people that are happy with their 6500s. And honestly, I think, the RX 560s, even the 4 gig 560s or 550s, or maybe actually a little better in some ways. No, that doesn't. Nope. That doesn't make it crap, Mir. Sorry. Because the 6500 is their low end of the 6000 series. So it's not supposed to be as good as some of the better earlier models. Yeah, 6400 is too low on the scale for me. But yeah, I've seen a lot of good tech tubers do their reviews of the 6500 and said they think it's better than what people are saying. So I have never played with a 6500, but I have with a 6700.
What are we talking about?
AMD GPUs.
Oh, the 6500?
Yeah, Mir says it's not a good card.
Yeah.
So
It's a dumpster fire. It is a laptop part that they put on a PCI Express card to have something in that category that was available, and
well, something for the low end for the 6000 series.
it's kind of like a better than absolutely nothing. If you need something to plug a monitor into, there you go.
Yeah, well, that's what it was really for.
That's not how AMD marketed it. AMD's like, play some games on it. I'm like, well, technically, you could.
Yeah, it doesn't have hardware encoding. That is true. But for people who needed one, who had a card that died, it would play games at low spec.
It'd get you through.
But I don't call it crap. I call it was there when people needed it. So, yep.
Yeah. That's what I was talking about earlier, Steve. That's what Intel missed out on. Intel had an opportunity to beat the market by having a product on the shelf. They don't have that opportunity anymore. And I kind of say, hopefully they don't. Not to be against Intel. I just don't want to go back to, because we've kind of crawled out of this a little bit. Just a little bit. To where things, you can go buy them if you're willing to pay for them. You're not going to get anything at MSRP, but, product is on shelf now. But, I mean, if you can get a GPU at MSRP or like within 20 or 30 bucks of MSRP, buy it. But unless you absolutely need something right now, wait. Unless you can get something, within 20, 30 bucks. I mean, good luck, but there it is.
Yeah, that's a good price, Justin. Yeah, the 6800s and the 6900s have been about 100 above MSRP, which is reasonable to me. So
you've gone crazy, Joe. I caught myself saying the same thing a couple of weeks ago, and I'm like, well, that's only $180 over. That doesn't seem so bad. I think, listen to yourself. Go talk to yourself in the mirror. You're like, what? What did you just say? I'm like, well, I mean, compared to like $400 over, that seems reasonable. I mean, yes, it does, but it's still insane. Yeah, it's like strange times. Like, if you see something that's $100 over, I mean, I guess.
Well, it's $1,000 card, so you're already spending $1,000 on MSRP.
That's what I'm saying. You should start paying attention to your finances if you're willing to spend $1,000. But then again, I mean, if you're buying $1,000 GPU and you're not using it for work, I don't think you're going to be price sensitive anyway.
Yeah. No, I'm going to use it in a new build, a new broadcasting rig, actually.
What, are you planning on getting a GPU?
Mm-hmm.
What are you going to get?
Well, my RX 580 is getting, they're both getting a little long in the tooth. And then I have a 1080 on another machine. So I was planning to get the RX 6800 or 6900. Still debating.
Those are good choices.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta wait for Intel. Somebody's gotta get it up.
Yeah, there's that too.
I'm
probably
curious.
be buying one next week. Next year for
Next
Intel.
week.
Yeah. Unless you want a laptop.
And you're in South Korea. Because that's where you can buy, the one place that you can buy the Intel new Arc laptops. South Korea.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You can
Steve
get them
absolutely
on
needs it.
AliExpress.
I don't know.
No, Steve's husband doesn't need one of those. But I definitely do.
I'm going to be spending $1,000 on a CPU. It's going to be a Quadro. Like, I mean, it's going to be for in here. It's,
Mm.
I'm not spending $1,000 on a GPU to play video games. I'm sorry. Now, if it happens to be able to play some video games, all right, I'm fine. But that can't be.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be able to enjoy it. It's what I'm trying to communicate.
I'm going to be using it for both.
Well, 6,800.
Yeah.
Those aren't $1,000 CPUs, man. So.
MSRP is $999 on the 6800. C-clip spreaders.
Ah. Yeah. Let's see. 930. After taxes. I mean, yeah, I mean, if that's something that you want, like I always say, because I wanna, that's a good explanation, you know? Well, yeah, I mean, we live in a brave new world, Strider. Like, if I'm going to drop $1,000, I mean, it's going to be a Quadro. And it is going to have a ton of compute capabilities. But, I mean, if somebody wants one to play games very fast, go for it.
I want to play 4K games. So that's my goal.
All right. Hey, let's get underway. As we're sitting here talking about...
Yeah, computers and hardware.
Yeah, I mean, you tuned in for the fishing. Sorry. No fishing talk this afternoon. Let me get down to the... part of the show where I complain about also player. Also player. All right. Oh, you kids with your fancy 1440. I do all my games at 1080p. Because usually if I'm playing a game, I'm streaming it. And,
Yeah. I'm usually doing 1440 when we're doing Trackmania in a windowed.
Trackmania. I stand by the point. It will run on a calculator because I play it at UHD 3840 by 2160 on this 2060 with everything on 11 all day long.
Yay, boo! Yeah.
Okay, let me take off cycle. I have a Reaper overlay for this that I'm not going to use because I'm that guy. I don't like labeling things. I'm not to that point in my advanced age yet where I need to have everything labeled. I can remember spatially where everything is. All right. Cool. Let's go. Ready, Jill?
Yes, I am.
All right.
I keep looking at Sonobus.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Linux Weekly, daily Wednesdays where we can sit back, relax, take that midweek break, talk about some of the fun things we found going on in the world of Linux, open source, and pretty much anything else we find interesting. I'm Vin, that is Jill, and you at home on Twitch watching us live, listening to us after the fact. What is up and new? You guys are playing like Room Jenga, trying to get ready for a remodeling in your house. We were talking about that in the pre-show.
Yeah, absolutely. First, we're going to do the outside of the house because it needs the greatest attention. New driveway, landscape, new driveway gate, new front porch, everything. All that needs to be upgraded. But we're also in the process of working inside. We've been working actually inside the house for quite a while. So we're trying to come up with solutions on how we're going to play the construction puzzle in the house. Yes.
It is.
When you have a small house, it's a thing.
Doesn't
Even
matter
in a big house.
Even in a big house,
Yeah.
you got to do the thing where it's like, okay, I can put that in the living room, put that in that room. And yeah, it's not a fun game to play. How's Jim doing? That's what I've named the piano.
Oh, yes. Jim is doing well.
All right.
Actually, Steve Husband was going to look into calling Goodwill today
Okay.
because they do take them.
Fair enough.
But he just said he found a door guy. Yay, good.
All right.
We need new doors too.
It's going to be like a brand new place. Man,
Yes.
you know what? It's exciting. It's also a bit of a pain, but it's worth it, to do the
It
remodeling and
definitely
all that.
is. It definitely is. I'm looking forward to the finished result because my father was a contractor. So I grew up in a house that was constantly changing. So it's kind of nice. It'll be nice to have everything finished and done.
It will. It will, but you also got to do that thing, man, because we're like, when you're trying to like work on somebody's PC and they're hovering over you,
Yeah.
you got to fight that urge.
Yes.
Be like,
Absolutely.
"Yeah, let 'em down." Oh man, it's going to be tough. What have I been up to? Hacking on Jitsi, making Jitsi do like strange and unnatural things. Not really, but yeah, I've found a way to like ratchet up the audio quality. Traditionally, with our shows, we use Sonobus, which, audio back in is separate from the video and it stays synced up. I found a way to push Jitsi really hard in the using Opus codec, and Jill's coming in directly. Her audio is coming in over Jitsi now. Yet still taking a side trip. It's going over to the Dawn, getting run back into OBS. We're doing the processing live, but worked good. We tried it out Saturday. Didn't have a problem with it. It's just to simplify everything and to cause Jill to look over to her right, where Sonobus normally
Yeah,
would be.
I know. I keep looking over there, over to my vertical monitor on the right.
R.I.P. Sonobus, if you haven't used it, it's brilliant piece of software. And like, if you're thinking about doing any type of podcasting, look into it. Not designed for it, but really good for it. Also, I got these.
Oh yeah, you got the big, huge headphones that are even big for Ven.
Massive, man. I got these so I can to get attention. No, these will never leave this room. I don't even wear them on the stream. I joked about doing it one time because they are so ungainly. They're massive. Metal, they're heavy. Why would you buy all these? And they don't sound good. In fact, I got a switch, Jill, right here. It's got 3 different settings to make it sound bad in 3 different ways.
Oh, bass boost and all that stuff. Ugh.
Not like you would think. Not like what you would think.
Oh, okay.
These, despite being fugly, are professional mixing headphones with a very voice built into them. These are from Aventone, creators of the Mixcube. You can look that up. Highly, highly rated. Also, these things are wicked expensive, but I don't pay retail. I waited. I got these for half price. Now, what they do is something I have to do in here when we're doing mixing is, I typically wear my Sony MDR 7506s. These things have been around for 30 years. Industry standard. They get the job done. They're not brilliant, but they work. But I need to know, if I mix everything on these, I'm like, well, how's it going to sound on an iPhone, earbuds, cheap headsets, on tablet speakers? Because it's going to sound completely different.
Yeah.
And you got to find a nice little average. That's the brilliant part about these. And, especially with people like Beats headphones and stuff like that have like bass boosts and all that other stuff. They have a regular setting that is kind of cued to that. That's like neutral. Like, okay, this is what it's going to sound like in, people's headphones. You buy a pair of headphones, it's going to sound closer to that. Then it's got a Mixcube mode, which is EQ'd closer to their Mixcube. It pulls out a lot of the stereo separation, maintains it, but, it gives you a nice solid center channel. And of course, if you flip it all the way back, it gives you a mono signal. So you can mix it with that.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
Pretty nice. They get the job done. They are cumbersome. They are heavy. They're not comfortable to wear. As I said on Saturday, if you see somebody walking around town with these, feel free to go, why? They want to be seen. I guess every review for these, every single review, I challenge you. These are called the MP1s from Aventone. Yeah, they work, but every review has a section about how ugly they are. Well deserved, because they are quite ugly.
Yeah.
They are, in fact, hideous. Unlike a new product from Lambda.
Oh, this is just really exciting news. We're going to be talking about the Razer X Lambda TensorBook, the world's most powerful Ubuntu Linux laptop designed for deep learning. You heard that right. Razer. I've been waiting for them to get into the Linux game. So Lambda is a provider of deep learning infrastructures, and they have teamed up with Razer to build a Linux-powered laptop for deep learning and AI. And of course, you can game on it too. So the specs are an Intel i7 11th gen octa-core processor featuring up to 4.6 gigahertz clock speeds, an NVIDIA GeForce RTX 3080 Max-Q graphics card with 16 gigabytes of VRAM, up to 64 gigabytes of 3200 megahertz DDR4 memory, and a 15.6-inch 2K 1440p 165 refresh display. Oh my gosh, this is really amazing. And I was amazed. Look how thin and sleek this laptop is for all that power. Pretty sweet. And this laptop, the TensorBook laptop, actually comes with the Lambda GPU cloud service and the full Lambda stack, which includes software like NVIDIA CUDA, cuDNN, PyTorch, TensorFlow, Keras, Caffe, and Caffe 2, as well as the classic NVIDIA drivers and various other useful Linux tools like Build Essential, GNU Emacs, of course, Git, HTOP, woohoo, GNU Screen, Tmux, Valgrind, and Vim. Yeah, you have to have those to be... for us Linux diehards have to have that piece of those software.
Well, you definitely got to have Emacs kicking around in there. Now, you know what? They did a good job with this. I was looking over it and like, yeah, okay, this looks a lot like the Razer Blade 15 advanced model because at its core it is minus the blinky keyboard. I consider that an absolute win. You do get 1 year of Lambda engineering support warranty, or like up to 3 years. You can buy up to 3 years. And, you know, I will say though, like price-wise, these are like anywhere from $3,400 to $5,000.
Yeah, workstations.
2 workstations. I would expect at that price to get Alder Lake in the CPU department, something newer, you know, instead of the previous gen with Intel. I'm just going to be honest.
That's true.
I think that's a fair criticism. Also, I got to wonder. Windows 10 Pro, if you want to add, how much does Windows 10 Pro cost?
An extra $500. Yeah. Why spend an extra $500? Yeah. It's meant for Linux. Just put Linux on there. It comes with Ubuntu 20.4.
Maybe you can think of it as they're trying to help actively discourage people from buying Windows 10 Pro.
Yes.
Or
that's a good point, Ben. Yeah.
There's enough disdain at the company. Like, if we have to touch Windows, you're going to have to pay for it. We're going to sully my hands with Windows 10. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's a pretty nice bit of kit. If you're
really
into,
is.
You know, if you're living that PyTorch life and you're doing that, you know, plenty of memory on both GPU and CPU. Plus, you know, you get some cloud credits thrown in. Like, all right, right on. You gonna get
really
one?
Nice.
Why don't you get 2?
No, but in the future, you know, I have a feeling they're probably going to come out with some other models with different price points. And I've actually been really looking forward to Razer releasing, you know, Linux laptops, because they've actually been talking about it for quite some time. I even had one of the Razer representatives when I went to the Open Source Summit in San Diego in 2019. He had asked me if I would like to review Razer products for use on Linux and to test Linux installed on them. And I said, absolutely. And I actually just recently got an email from them. So That was really cool. So they're serious about their Linuxing, and obvious with this release, they are. So it'll be nice to get Razer laptops, gaming ones as well. Now with the success of the Steam Deck, we'll probably have some Razer gaming laptops with Linux pre-installed. That's cool.
Might be interesting. One thing you always want to keep in mind when you're ordering things like this, a lot of the price difference, because you're thinking, hey, man, couldn't I just go out and get a, Razer laptop and save $1,000 or $2?
Yeah.
You're paying for the support,
Yeah.
Same thing
Absolutely.
with System 76. It's very price competitive, but you have that support there. You got a problem with a product, you pick up the phone, you're not on, digging up an email thread from 5 years ago, hoping like, what did you see? Can you tell me what my problem is? No, they phone support. Like, hey, we can fix this for you. Trained personnel. And that is that. Good work, everyone. Good work on that. Now, I want to talk about something that is on every box in the studio. And I mean everything. Even the Raspberry Pi back here on the rack is running Debian. Got 3 boxes down here, 3 PCs. Got another one over here running OBS that's feeding you live. Got another one over here running an entire audio stack. Debian gets the job done. It's nuts and bolts. I like it. And kind of, maybe for the wrong reasons, reminds me of the old days. Joe, we were talking about that.
Absolutely.
Hey, it's just, hey, here's something. If you can get it up and working, have fun. Debian does a lot better than that. It usually comes out of the box, no problems. But Steve, of all people.
Yeah, my Steve husband wouldn't like to use Debian, honestly. I would have to set it up for him.
Steve's talking about the firmware and what they're going to do about it. And the TLDR on this, firmware support and Debian sucks. And we need to change this. See my preference rationale section. He's got a couple of things. I mean, I think this is reasonably well thought out.
Yeah.
Because you remember the good old days, like when the only firmware you needed was probably for that Wi-Fi chipset that like, oh, look, it works with the NIDS wrapper or whatever it was back in the day. And like, hey, we can make it kind of do the thing. Unfortunately, we're in 2022 and you know what? Times have changed. Back in the day, firmware usually loaded on the device, but hey, those days are long gone. Why? Well, turns out it's cheaper to include it. Just a binary blob as opposed to the flash on the device itself. And yeah, I get it, cents add up. But Debian does include some free firmware binaries, but, more often than not, you're going to have to enable the non-free to get up and going.
Yeah.
But, I hear you. But you get it installed and it's not a problem. You go into your app sources and you do the non-free thing and yeah. What if you can't get it installed? Like network card. You typically don't have wired Ethernet on a laptop these days, and Wi-Fi is not up, and you get a net install. Maybe you can get a full install, but maybe you can put it on from a thumb drive. They're thinking about problems like this, and I was reading through the comments on this post, and one solution was, well, you just go buy a USB Ethernet dongle attachment. That's not realistic. That's not the way you want to be thinking about it. And there's a little bit of confusion. Like I went to the main page on Debian, went to their download, just followed through what a typical person would do. And when you click download, it automatically starts downloading just a regular Debian image, a net install image without the non-free firmware. But at least on that page, while the download thing pops up, it says, hey, this is the unofficial version of Debian with the non-free firmware. That is, you can go ahead and get that. Now, to be honest, if you do it on a desktop, you're going to be able to get through the install just fine, more likely than not. But, I'm glad that page does, even though it's not very, it doesn't really point out. It doesn't have a blank tag attached to it to tell you that you can go and download it. Now, even around the non-free, there's a little bit of a philosophy, the booga, this is bad, and stay away from non-free. And I get it, each to their own, whatever. But, Steve brings up a good point. He does.
Yes, he does. This is a very, very good article.
One of his solutions is like, hey, can we no longer pretend that the non-free images are unofficial? since it's just Debian with the non-free firmware images. Maybe there's some counterpoints to that. I don't know. I'm really curious. What does everyone else think about this? Because I come from that time of not expecting Linux to install or, to work on the first go, much less without issues. I mean,
I know. We're used to compiling our own drivers and compiling our own kernels, and it's, it doesn't have to always work out of the box. That's part of the fun of Linux to us. But a modern distribution kind of needs to work, especially for the beginners, and those of us who've been using it a long time. It is convenient to have all the drivers already there, and it's a problem that Debian has actually faced for quite some time, especially since many new laptops don't have wired Ethernet, and proprietary firmware blobs are often needed to get, say the Broadcom or Belkin Wi-Fi cards working. That's been an issue for years. Mm-hmm. And I've needed to use the non-free Debian images for that reason, just to get some of those drivers working easily. And that's definitely a thing.
I mean, I download the ones with the non-free firmware because I just want it to work.
Yeah,
absolutely. I do. That's where, I don't do a good job of carrying the flag there because I'm a Linux zealot, 100%. Open source, free. I love it. I support it. I champion it. But I can also be a realist. The older I get, the more realist I am. Even there's a binary blob that I need to initialize the FPGA in the audio format converter that's powering the show right now. It's got to be done. Is there an open source equivalent? Nope. There's not even open source equivalent or alternate hardware that exists in that range. And it's got to be there. But I don't know. Another proposal is to have a segmented part for the non-free firmware packages and just a component in the archive to enable it.
And I actually like that idea. I think that's a nice in-between.
It is. It seems like the contention, just reading on the comments on this, is they don't want to include it in the ISO. Which I get.
Yeah.
I get. Mm-hmm. I get.
Yeah, because of their, they don't want to include proprietary.
Right.
Right. And I understand that. Other distros are dealing with that too, like Fedora.
This was the first thing I thought was growing up with Red Hat and Fedora was MP3 media codecs. That was
absolutely
out of the box experience. You couldn't do if you got to X, you were doing a little happy dance around the house. I don't have to set up X, and then you would get everything else set up. But there is something to be said about having that out of the box experience. And I don't know if anybody. I really want some feedback on this. Feel free to write in the show, leave a comment on YouTube. I've never looked at Debian as that distribution. That never seemed like a goal.
Debian. No, I understand, especially since it supports all the older architectures, which I need for my vintage computers. Mm-hmm. It still has, there's still community support for DEC alphas and RISC systems and CISC and MIPS and a lot of architectures that no one else supports. And with those computers and those CPUs, you sometimes do have to compile your own drivers to get things to work. But it's just something you do.
It's got its own niche with, Debian by design is an LTS. Everything is kind of 2 or 3 years. Nothing changes. You get security updates. And it's one of those tools to me that you'll find it if you have a need for it. If you go looking, like I did, I'm hey, I need something that's not a moving target that I can build a studio around. One of the first things I ran into, I was why don't you just use Debian? It's got everything you need. I don't know. Again, I'd love to hear some feedback from this because this doesn't affect me. This doesn't affect Jill. We're going to look at it and be oh, yeah, and fix that. And it's not going to be a problem. But for a new user, that could throw them for a loop. And But are new users thinking about using Debian?
Yeah, no. And a lot of people steer them New Year's away from Debian for that reason.
Yeah, and I mean, you want to get them on something like with the edges filed off, like Arch.
Yeah. Arch, Ubuntu, Fedora, yeah.
Even Fedora, yeah. Fedora's a kitty cat these days.
Yeah.
Kind of is.
Yeah.
All right. Speaking of commercial, binary, proprietary software, everyone's favorite thing.
Yes.
DaVinci Resolve 18 beta is out, including cloud features. That's right, the cloud. And you see a thing on the desk? That's not the eGPU. In fact, that is the eGPU enclosure, but now it's full of clouds. Now, how much would you pay? Quite a bit, actually. A couple of things with this. I watched the stream yesterday, and it was pretty interesting. A couple of new features, object mass features, are missing in the Linux version of the beta one. Presentations, object mass, Dolby Atmos, and a few others. They're still working on them, but they're coming. Didn't have any hiccups when I did the upgrade. I was happy to see that. No problems with the DNX HD ingestion, H.265 HEVC export. Everything went smooth. This upgrade will, I want to point out, upgrade your database, and you cannot reverse it. So back up before you do that. And but you get the Blackmagic Cloud Store. There's a mini version. Is it included in here? There's the cloud where you can log it. Cloud. Mm-hmm. Do they have I want a picture of the little mini one. It's kind of adorable.
Oh, yeah. I saw it, I think, on another page.
Yeah, I've been through a couple of these. Also, if you're wondering what is DaVinci Resolve, nonlinear video editor, it's got an audio editor, it's got 3D modeling built into it, it's got a full coloring suite. That's a lot of projects packed into one. But the cloud does something that's kind of interesting. One, you can roll your own cloud. You don't have to rely on Blackmagic, but that is an option. You can buy your own cloud server for a project. And this is where it gets a little bit interesting. Like the little mini cloud, like $3,000. That's expensive.
Yeah.
But compared to like the big one in the old eGPU enclosures, those start at like $30,000-$40,000, man. Not meant for peasants like you and myself. But the ability with the cloud functions are very neat because it's gotten really good at creating light-ish weight proxy files that you can distribute across an entire team. So you can have, at the same time, people can be working on just doing editing, and you can have somebody doing VFX. You can have somebody working on audio. Somebody can do color grading all at the same time. Or, if you have a smaller production house or something like that, and you're doing dailies, you can bank that over to a building next door and not have everybody on set and get that back. Very interesting tech. I've often thought to myself, it'd be really neat, even if it was for just simple like YouTube projects and stuff like that, being able to get multiple people working on the same project instead of trying to ship, if we get done recording the show, it's going to be like 30 minutes. That's the mezzanine file with 2, 3, 4 channels of 32-bit float audio. That's about 60 gigs. And that's not practical. Like if I had to send you that, it would take an entire day.
Wow. Yeah. So this is just, it's a huge release. The cloud collaboration is so needed, especially now since DaVinci, it's been for quite some time, it has become an industry standard with video editing, color grading, motion graphics. So having this collaboration is definitely needed because other suites that are competing with it do. But the nice thing is this one isn't subscription based. So the Blackmagic Cloud Project Server actually only costs $5 per library per month. And only the hosts pay for it, not the collaborators. And when you delete your project library, you no longer pay. And that's awesome. That's much better than the subscription service that some of the other high-end editors and suites have. Talking to you, Adobe. So that's a thing. And this release also has lots of really great effects as well. New transitions and effects. For instance, in the shape, iris, and wipe categories of the effects library, you now have a checkbox that lets you easily reverse the direction of the transition. So that's really cool too. So there's been updates, not just in the cloud, but overall in the whole application. So really good.
I haven't run into issues with it. I've only played around with it for a day now. And, DaVinci Resolve, it is, if you just, I like to say this, and I don't mean to downplay it at all when I say this, but you got to understand the gist of what I'm saying. If you're doing cat videos, huge fan of KDN Live, OpenShot, pretty much anything else. I mean, open source in all these.
Yeah, Olive.
Yeah, I was going to say Olive, but I wasn't 100%. It's like, Olive's one? They got some crazy names these days.
Yes.
We don't have the video editor NLE equivalent of Blender yet on Linux.
Yeah.
Like, Blender is of that quality where it is used in production professionally. We don't quite have that. So I use Blackmagic, DaVinci Resolve. There's a free version. It's got a couple of limitations, but you can make videos with it. But like $300. It's a reasonable price. Again, if you got the need for it. If you don't, play around with it. But you need I don't want to say specialized because you need big evil NVIDIA cards if you're going to use it on Linux.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Realistically. Either that or you're going to find yourself with an AMD card from last generation running on a CentOS 3 7.3.
Yeah.
Which is probably not going to be a fun time. All right. Flatpaks. We talked about snaps last week.
Yeah, we did. So this is cool. It's another awesome add-on for Firefox. So this add-on opens selected apps directly in GNOME software by clicking install from FlatHub or apps.gnome. And it is called Flatline. That was a cool name.
Bold name for a project.
It really is. Yeah, because we don't want this project to die. Or flatline, as in medical terms. No. So, this is just something that's very convenient, especially since personally I usually use and install Flatpak apps via terminal. But it's just really convenient to be able to go to FlatHub or apps.gnome and click that little button and have it automatically pop up in GNOME Software Center. That's very cool. And of course, you do have to have Flatpak installed with FlatHub repositories and the GNOME Software App Center to use it. So if you're on vanilla Ubuntu, this is a great option with GNOME or any other distro with default GNOME. Yeah, Fedora is another one. So not Fedora Plasma, but Fedora GNOME.
Yeah, this would require me to have GNOME installed and
yeah.
No, this is kind of neat. If you're running Firefox, I like that idea of just being less friction between you and the application that you want to get installed. But the security in the back of my head's like, I don't know if that's a good idea. Which I don't like anything that automatically installs or even brings that up. Which this doesn't auto install, but it takes you to where you ultimately want to be, which I think is a good compromise.
Yeah. And actually you can install GNOME software in Mate and Cinnamon and a lot of other desktop managers.
Don't tell people that.
Yeah.
Then they'll install GNOME. It's a gateway drug, Joe.
Yeah.
I'm just playing. I don't have a problem with the GNOME project. I don't typically, when I say typically, outside of morbid curiosity, I've never used a distribution, be it or desktop managers application GUI install thing. The closest I get is Synaptic. I consider that a GUI for installing applications.
Absolutely, yeah. A must-have on every distro is Synaptic.
It's like the app stores. I'm guessing that they've gotten a lot better over the years, but the last time I tried, they were just slow, cumbersome, and not really my thing.
Yeah, they still have issues to work out, but they are really focusing the different distros, like Ubuntu is focusing on their app center and making it cleaner and a smoother experience and faster at loading. So things are definitely changing in that arena.
What we need is a third container that is compatible with Flatpaks and snaps. just so we can have a third competing format. I don't care what it is. I don't know. Fragmentation is awesome. That's how things get made. Brilliant piece of kit if you're on Firefox and you want that, because, hey, that's one less terminal you have to open. Good times. Cool. We're going to be talking about surveillance in just a moment. But before we do that, if you like what we do, want to kick us some coin, patreon.com/Linux Gamecast pays for everything we do with the hosting and all that. We even host our own podcast and video. I know, but we also make it available on YouTube and all the other places podcasts are available. And we got some bonus things. If you're a Twitch sub, if you're a patron, you get access to our super secret Discord where we're at the other 6 days of the week. We invite you to come hang out with us. You can come play Trackmania with us on Tuesdays and Fridays.
Yeah.
That's another thing. Plus the after show. This Saturday, we were playing Back for Blood because EAC and Back for Blood kind of work on Linux now. And we'll probably be LGC versus the audience. We like to do things like that. And if you like this show, this is the middle part. Live and uncut and podcast format. You want the whole thing. It's usually like an hour and a half, 2 hours long. So you're missing out on a little bit there. Thanks to everybody who likes, subscribes, retweets, and whatever you do. What do you do on TikToks? Do you talk things? I don't know.
Oh, you do dance challenges.
How do you share? Can you share a TikTok? I don't. This is legitimate old man stuff. I don't know.
Yeah. You can share, you can comment, you can thumbs up, you can thumbs down, which I never do. Thumbs down. But if I don't like a TikTok, I just move a video, I move on.
You're the reason they get rid of the thumbs down button on YouTube. Nobody knows this.
No.
Joe's such thumbs downing everything so hard constantly.
No.
It is time for a slice of pie.
Yes.
So.
Oh, this one has a bird in the center. Very appropriate then for our next story. So cute. It's like a plastic, or no, a glass statue. That's what it looks like in the center of a traditional apple pie.
Mayhaps. I look at it as something, I look at it as dinner trying to escape.
Oh, no. You would, Vin. Oh, here's a cute little bird.
Pie. Look at it. So delicious. All right.
Aw.
Let's have a look at this birdnet pie. What does it do? Well, hey, man, maybe you want to eavesdrop on birds. You know, without their birdie consent, this could be a problem. Check your local laws. But this is a slick little install for any Pi running the latest Raspbian OS, 64-bit only. And it's going to give you 24/7 recording of, all you need is a USB sound card. You get spectrograms, live audio streams, charts and stuff. Now, how much would you pay? Nothing. You just download it and do it. And something that's really cool, I mean, I like this, but, I'm sure there's some bird going like, man, 1984 wasn't just a book, man.
Oh.
It's neat. It's going to pick up the, bird calls, and it's going to give you, like, when I say charts and stuff, I mean, it really does, like Barker House. How many times did I hear this or this, and where, and what day, at what time?
Nice.
Kind of tempted to play around with it. There's like one bird call that I know that I don't know, but I can identify it. Like, I've heard this on 2 different continents, and I've always been like, what is that? No one gave me an answer, and I went to the trouble of what little trouble it might be, like listening to bird calls on like birdcalls.tv or whatever it was, and couldn't find it. Like, maybe out of curiosity. I don't know. I don't pay much attention to birds unless they poo on my cars.
Oh. Well, I think this is actually just so sweet, especially for those of us who are interested in finding out what birds live in our areas. And honestly, this is a great tool for scientific research to track the population of different bird species. And one of the things I have noticed here in the United States is we're having a lack of doves. And that's apparently been an issue.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why scientifically that's happening, but we've had fewer doves calls. We used to hear them every morning, and now I'm starting to hear them a little bit more, but I was really concerned about our dove population. So this would be a good way to track that.
I would like to let everyone know that Jordan has provided us with a link to the subreddit Birds Aren't Real.
Aww.
I don't know. I'm as a fellow flat moon theorist. I mean, that maybe put on your tinfoil hat. I don't know. Don't mourn doves, because then you'll make them cry, Steve. You'll make them cry. That's
yes.
a bad time. That's a fantastic project. But it's 36 in. We got to bounce, Jill. We got any birdie last words?
Chirp, chirp.
Chirp, chirp. You know what?
Cuckoo, coo.
Just as
cuckoo,
once.
Coo. Morning dove. Cuckoo, coo. Oh. I can't make good bird sounds. Sorry, Ben. I'm pathetic at that.
Hey, man. You don't have to be good. It's all about trying. That's where I'm like,
I did
at least
try.
You tried.
I don't think I've ever tried to make some of those bird sounds.
That is that's the important thing. If you take your life lesson away, man, don't give up on something just because you're not great at it.
Thank you, Gamatron in chat said, that was such a hoot. Thank you. Yes, Arthur and I am going cuckoo for the birds. Cuckoo with Cocoa Puffs. Oh boy.
We'll see you next week, beautiful people.
Bye all. Love you all. Oh my god. That's something I don't think I've ever done.
What?
Try and do bird noises. Maybe I have, but I don't remember. I probably had elementary school or something. But I just know those morning doves were not hearing.
Morning doves?
Yeah.
What do you consider morning doves? Like doves that get up around noon?
But you used to always hear that cuckoo, coo, cuckoo, coo every morning. And it's like the bees, that bumblebees issue. For some reason, the doves had gone away. So I was going to look more into this app to see if they've been tracking that as well. And I'm sure they have, because some of the other people using it were scientifically watching them.
That's better than these creeps that are non-scientifically watching them.
Yeah.
So what's the difference between a dove and a pigeon? Taste-wise.
I don't think there's a difference in taste, but they look different.
Morning doves.
Yeah, do you have morning doves, Ben? That woo, 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 woo.
My house isn't that poorly insulated.
Yeah.
I don't want to go out and commune with bird poo. I'm good.
Aww. Yeah, they got a very unique, beautiful sound, and we just hadn't been hearing them. And then Steve had read an article somewhere about how there's been a disappearance of doves. And and yeah, Ben, sorry about the Steve and Debbie, and I kept thinking you were going to make a joke about Steve husband. And then, no, it's the Steve that wrote the article.
No.
That was funny. But it worked. It was funny.
I'm just trying to report the news. You're picking on poor Steve.
Yeah, it was so funny. That was funny, actually.
I wouldn't do that to Steve.
I totally forgot that the guy's name in the article was Steve. So...
Just couldn't pass up an opportunity. Yeah, it's Steve's blog, like legitimately.
Yeah, it is, yeah. And I wasn't paying attention to that. I'd forgotten after reading it that his name was Steve. 10-second verse. Yes, boo.
I don't know.
But that went well then. There was I had one point where you disappeared on me, just briefly, really quick during the DaVinci Resolve when I was talking during that segment. But that was the only thing that happened. I think that was just an internet glitch.
What do you mean by disappeared?
Well, you went pixely on me, and then almost completely black, but popped in back real quick. So I think it was an internet issue or congestion or something.
All right.
But it was just that one time. And it was really fast. Do, 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 do. But yeah, you sound really good. You sound almost the same to me as on Sonobus. Of course, I don't have the greatest headphones on, but they sound good enough to hear your voice good. I actually like these headphones because they're flat and your voice sounds good in them.
Those, whatever those headphones are, I mean, that's the, we were talking about don't ever pick the lowest bidder.
Mm-hmm.
But no, I mean, I have, I got cheap things like that, like Skull Candy. I have a pair of Skull Candy that I bought at the petrol station just to plug it and listen. Because the one thing I don't do is I don't sit in my car.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Like as I like Turbojetta. Turbojetta's got a premium sound in it that I never use. But yeah, I don't do any type of balancing for car speakers. If you listen to us in a car, it sounds like it sounds.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, of all my pink headphones, these have actually been the best. They're the more expensive ones out of my pink ones, but I was like...
There's like headphones are headphones. I mean, they're all EQ'd differently.
Yeah, they are.
It just depends on what you want. Like, I don't have, like, Beats are not bad headphones. They're just overpriced for what they are. But that's like most things, you know?
True.
Like, these things are incredibly overpriced, but, you know, at least I can justify, like, home intrusion. I can bludgeon somebody to death with these things, with the amount of metal on them.
Yeah, and they're, oh gosh, those have to weigh a couple pounds on your head. Are they comfortable?
No.
Okay, yeah, they're heavy.
You buy these for one reason and one reason only, is because you don't want studio monitors.
Yeah.
Having that, silly as it is, having that switch is so much quicker than taking off or plugging in. I mean, I was thinking about buying a rack mount headphone distributor.
Oh, yeah.
But then I'm going to have multiple pairs of headphones. Having two is enough, man. Like,
yeah.
I return them because they do their job.
That's funny, Gamatron. Headphone conspiracy. Time for the tinfoil hats.
Mm-hmm. They're brilliant for what they are. They do everything that they're supposed to do. It's I'm trying to stress no one, if you ever run across them, don't pick them up like, hey, I bet they sound great. Like, wrong tool for the job. But I don't know. I mean, like, some people buy the like, you've seen like the crazy expense. Here's something that makes me laugh, and I just laugh and I don't keep it to myself. Like people who've bought like wood encased headphones because it helps with the toners and nonsense like that.
Oh yeah.
Hundreds upon hundreds of dollars, and there's a like hi-fi subreddit where people sell this stuff. No one ever buys it. I'm like, but I paid $900 for these. I think I could get $700. I'm like, no. But if you like them, right on. Go for it. I'd be happy with earbuds. Like, I have decent hearing, but like, if I got headphones on, I'm not trying to have my world moved. Which also makes me curious is like, you'll see people who, I got a friend that's guilty of this. They bought studio monitors for their PC speakers.
No. Okay.
Like, you bought something that's just flat and neutral, right? You're not going to get the best performance out of those for like playing your games back or listening to music.
Yeah, yeah.
Chocolate screwdrivers. I don't know if I trust a chocolate knife.
Chocolate Swiss Army knife.
Swiss chocolate knife.
Yeah, so for gaming, I usually use my Logitech gaming headphones, or honestly, I still listen to speakers. I've got my nice 5.1 surrounds in here,
Yeah.
and I like to. It's kind of funny because it took me a long time to get used to using headphones with games because I'd always had a really nice sound system, and I like the surround effect and hearing, the floor shake when you shoot bullets and in Half-Life is pretty cool. So I've always liked that immersion, but I like a good pair of gaming headphones too.
True. I mean, when you get into psychoacoustics and you try to explain, it's like, headphones aren't really stereo? Ooh, go down that rabbit hole.
Yeah, there's that, yeah.
Also, there's a new attachment for the Steam Deck for those of you who have been worried about battery life. Now you can get up to 5 hours.
Oh.
At 60 FPS. No problem.
There you go.
It's got wheels on it for handy transport. Ultra portable.
Yep, that's the... You can use a UPS for your Steam Deck.
That'd be great.
Yeah.
Now you can get out and about for multiple hours.
Actually, I have a big chunky brick that I use for my laptop when I need it to run a long time, and it looks like a mini UPS. It's huge, and that would work.
I had this for home use. It was insane, but I took it out of a data center I was working at. Some contract work for him because it was back in. Because I'm the guy. I'm like, hey, where's your junk closet? I want to take a look around.
Oh yeah, I understand
stuff
that.
That's off the books. I'm like, hey, we can do anything with that? And it came up to about my waist, and I think it took 12 lead acid marine batteries. But I got it home, and I never could get it to initialize. And I didn't have the batteries for it. I bought a battery for it to see if I could get it up and running. Never worked right, but that was the biggest UPS I've ever had. I have a generator with no petrol in it, so I'm covered.
Yeah, that works.
Yep. Battery backups. Everyone has that one point, though. I mean, everyone with I'm not going to say like a serious UPS, battery backup solution, but you can always put like, yeah, you've been through that. I'm like, yeah, I've been through that. I got a good one. Those 5 minutes can save you so much time. Didn't Pine
Pixel bugs?
Yeah, the Pine Phone people aren't they releasing like a real wireless earbuds?
Yes. Yeah. Ooh. Helicopter right over our house. Oh, that's the Coast Guard. That is one cool thing because we're by the ocean. The Coast Guard copters fly by. I can always hear their sound. I always know their sound because they fly low, a low rumble.
There they are.
Yes. Yeah, there it is. Yeah.
Huh. Right.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to theirs because I love the idea of buds, but I always have issues with buds fitting in my ears because they're smaller than average.
Mm-hmm.
So, and you can, like you did, Van, you can get some custom made ones, and I'm to the point where I need.
You can, Jill. Then you can be like me and cry in the fetal position for a month and a half.
Oh, yeah. Expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
$1,300.
Yeah. I remember when they were introducing those at CES.
And they don't sound that great, but they stay in your ears very well.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah, unless you're inside an isolation booth. Yeah, don't put that kind of money in anything. Mm-hmm. That's another thing. I don't like noise canceling headphones. They put me on edge. Having those things on put me on edge.
Oh yeah, same here. Yeah, that's why I like open headphones, not closed, because I can't stand that. Yeah, being isolated.
That silence. You're like, something's about to get me. Something's about to get me.
Or just not hearing what's going on in the outside world. It's just like, I gotta hear that.
Or straight up hearing things.
Yeah.
Did I hear? All right, hang on. Let me go check. No? All right, hearing things.
Yeah.
Noted.
There's that.
Isolation. Well, you see, I don't like complete silence, man.
Do. Okay, so here in Torrance, the Coast Guard helicopters are made by Robinson because the Robinson plant is right here in Torrance, not far from my house. So they're often at with our Torrance Airport, Robinson. That's where they're based.
Okay.
And so they have sometimes experimental stuff that goes off there and flies around. That's kind of cool. We had one year President Bush came and went to the Robinson plant to take a tour. That was cool. So all his copters and all their entourage came over our house. That was fun.
I want to do it before I get too old. I want to get my helicopter license.
Oh, that would be cool, Ben. Yeah. I enjoyed flying in them. Yeah. I like helicopter rides.
That'd be interesting to know. I don't know if I got to, like, what I got to do. Like my pilot's license, none of that's going to transfer over.
Yeah, you have to get a whole new training.
Thing,
Yeah.
I got to go get my physical and all that other fun stuff and find somebody local because I'm not driving a long way. Yeah, you'll know. I mean, everybody know. I just won't be on the show one day because helicopters, they can't fly. They're just so ugly that the earth repels them.
Yeah, there you go.
Those look like they're fun. Canceling headphones. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, like, if I was still flying a lot, like, speaking of flying, if I would, passenger-wise anyway, I would absolutely probably have noise canceling, but I'd be listening to music or something. I just don't like dead silence. Not a fan of it.
Yeah, I don't either. When I was younger, it didn't bother me, but now I always have to have noise. Yeah, background noise.
Gotta have something.
Yeah, it's a thing.
Auto gyro.
Nice, Justin.
Justin, look at the bright side, man. When you get your license, you don't have to know Morse code these days.
Yeah.
So, I didn't touch that initially before I got my technicians. I was like, I'm not learning Morse code. No. And it wasn't like I have anything personally against Morse code. Like,
yeah.
Like,
just don't need it.
Yeah, I just
today.
wanted to play around, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, YouTube, anything in the background. Just like my background noise right now is a guy called Hitch on Twitch.
Oh, yeah. That's right.
He's a Canadian who bicycles. Currently, he's going from Florida to not Florida.
Yeah, cross country, huh? He was the one you were telling me about.
Yeah. Last time he was in Portugal, I learned more from him about Portugal in a week than I've learned from Pedro in a decade.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I got excited. I want to see this silo fly more. I don't care if it crashes. Yeah. It's spectacular when it crashes, too. I mean...
Yeah, that's what Steven always has NASA TV going. Or NASA Space Flight is the other YouTubers that he's heavily watches. Like Everyday Astronaut.
Steve really wants to escape this cruel Earth.
Yeah.
Boca Chica. All right.
Do, 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 do. Very true, Cryptic. Teaching programmers Fortran. Yep. I learned Fortran many moons ago.
Yeah, that was I remember when my mom asked me if I wanted her punch cards. True story.
Aw. Yeah.
She's got a box of them, like programs.
Yeah.
Like, toss them. No one wants them. We're good.
I still have one of my programs I wrote on a punch card from elementary school.
Yeah. Oh, right.
Cryptic, that must have been. Yeah, it was in the early years of technology. do. Before personal computers were a thing, and you had to build heath kits. Oh, Justin. Yeah, I still have, of course, I've got so many. I've got hundreds of computers with floppy drives in them still. And I still occasionally go through my disks. I've got 8-inch floppies too. But my 8-inch floppy drive is having issues. It didn't track the disk too well the last time I put a disk in it.
It's because it begs for the sweet release of death, Jill. Let it go.
Let it go. Let it go. Do, 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 do. Let it go. Let it go. Ah, yes. I do have a PDP-11 terminal. That is one of the things in my collection.
A collection of blinking lights. You know what, man? Here's the thing. Just get some thumbtacks, some Christmas lights, and put them on the wall, pretend.
Yeah. They actually have on Etsy, you can buy someone who takes the made copies of the PDP-11 faceplates, and you can buy them with lights in them. In fact, on Tech TV, one of the guys has them on his wall.
Oh, you mean Steve Gibson?
Yeah, Steve Gibson has one.
Yeah, those are real.
Yeah.
His PDP-11s.
Well, he has real ones. Yeah.
I was there when he was like putting those things together. Yeah, he's got a tie right up. Yeah, those aren't faceplates.
Well, he has one that is. He had bought one that I don't think he has that one up anymore, but he had bought one that was just a faceplate with lights in it, and he was talking about it, and he goes, "But I have my real ones." So it was one of the vendors at CES had them. That was it when he went to CES. CES. I used to love watching that when the whole Twit team was at CES. Aw.
Do they still do things?
No, they do. They're just not doing the convention circuit that as much anymore. You know, he's gotten older and he doesn't really need to because he talks to the, you know, the creators and developers and just has them interviews them on his shows. So he hasn't been doing as many conventions.
That was an interesting thing. Like the whole Twit TV, but like everybody that I watched left.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, but he's still there, and Steve Gibson's still there. They're kind of the only two left of the originals.
And that was a interesting thing back in the day, man. Like,
yeah, that was a great. Oh, I still watch Steve Gibson's show. Not every week, but I still catch it at least once a month.
Once a month, you monster! How can you be secure only once a month?
Oh, because, well, we have security. I'm surrounded by security people, so at the level of Steve Gibson as well.
All right, everyone, we're about to call it a day. I got to get to work.
Okay.
Gonna do a
Nope. He calls them podcasts now, not netcasts. From Netcast You Love, Netcast You Love, from. I'm forgetting what he.
Netcast You Love from people you trust.
You trust, yeah, that was it. Now he says podcast.
I'm gonna go give DaVinci Resolve 18 Beta 1 its first real world test.
Nice.
Oh. True story. Everyone, enjoy
Justin.
the rest of your Wednesday.
Yeah.
Have a good time. Party. Do your things. Jordan will be back tomorrow night on this channel doing Flying Spaghetti Monster knows what. But inmates run the asylum here. That's how I roll. And I'll be back Friday. We'll be doing Trackmania if you want to participate with that. If you want to watch, that's cool too.
Yeah.
7:30 when that kicks off. Your chance to win a random free game of your choosing. We got 3 prizes that are giveaway. You don't have to be the fastest. You just got to be the most persistent. If you like physics puzzle games, that's what this game is. It's a physics puzzle game. You just happen to have wheels.
Yeah, I think that's one of the reasons I love it so much. Because I love puzzle games and I love neat physics. And this game has everything.
It's a challenge. It's a weird racing game because every map is its own. Like, okay, I got to figure this out. How does this work with that? And then
it's a physics puzzle.
As soon as you think you got it figured out, I'll see you flying off into the corner. But I'll be right back.
Bye, Steve husband. Aw.
All right, everyone.
Bye, Arthurian.
Bye-bye.
Bye, Cryptic. Bye, Justin. Bye, Gamatron.
All right.
Yay, Vin.
That went nice and smooth.
It was, yeah.
Now all I have to do is I got to make a note. Figure out why Jill's VU strip is slightly wider than everyone's.
Oh, okay.
I don't think it's affecting audio. I just want to make sure I don't have like some weird setting in there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Steve says we're still live.
Bye, everyone.
Okay.